Hi friends, welcome to my channel. This is Bondi Quilt A and I'm Barbara Radzevicius. This channel is mainly about quilting, quilt making, some sewing and knitting occasionally. But today I have a finished project. It's so fun to have finished projects, and I finished the quilt top of my flying geese. It is so beautiful. It's not a big quilt, it is a lap-sized quilt, I'd say. We'll have a look at that. It's great to have it finished. And this is the offcuts from that quilt, which are also very handy. So I make quilts mainly from scrap fabric. My fabric that I buy is mainly 25 centimeter pieces with the fabric. That makes, I have a lot of scope then, for choosing different fabrics, different colors, different patterns. I mainly collect novelty patterns, novelty prints. But in this quilt, it is all grunge. And the grunge range is particularly fascinating for me because it comes in so many colorways. It is beautiful and it has greys mixed in with it. So, perfect. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. It's so great to see you. It's so great to see new friends coming to see me and my returning friends. So great to see your friends. And yeah, if you haven't already subscribed and you like this type of content, please consider doing so. It would make me very happy. The weather report for today, it's Friday the 27th of February and it is pouring rain, friends, just pouring. We've had torrential rain and high winds for the last day and night, and it doesn't seem to be letting up. So, we need rain. I hope it keeps raining for the next couple of days, really, because we need rain so much. And even though it's, we get storms, but the storms seem to bypass us. They go out from the coast down at Wollongong, go up the coast and come back in at Newcastle or Gosford, or sometimes Port Macquarie, which is a fair way up the coast. It'd be about 300 kilometres. Not so far if you fly there, about 60 minutes. But yeah, that's the weather report. I think we're in a summer system of, weather. It's just how it is. And the monsoons are up north, which are progressing. But in the Northern Hemisphere, I see whiteouts in New York and snow that thick. It is very different to what I'm used to seeing New York at the end of winter. But that is that weather system. Very interesting. And the big waves in Maine that go up over the coast and onto the houses and everything. I am a weather watcher. So it's so interesting. Cloud formations and how the weather influences us here, especially with quilt making. It's very humid too. Even though it's raining, it's very humid inside. So I am going to turn the fan on now. In this episode, we are going to look at half square triangles that are the offcut of the flying geese quilt blocks that I'm making. They're so lovely, and I just, you just can't throw these ones away, can you? I mean, they are so beautiful and so useful, and I'm going to sew them up today. I'll iron them and I'll have a perfect small quilt of the same version. It's so exciting to use scraps. This is my sewing table this morning. I'm up early. It's 6:30. Well, I've been sewing for nearly 2 hours. It's 8 o'clock now, so it's not 6. But this is what the table looks like this morning. So I'm sewing these leftover pieces that I have from the flying geese. And they all came out, well, I've ended them when I've trimmed them, put them all in the container, and they're all matching up together. And when I lift them off to sew them, they're pretty much, all together still. There are a few that are left without a mate, but generally they have a mate. I have this little pile still to sew. This is how far I've gotten so far. So it isn't 2 hours of sewing. It's just what I've done so far. It is so fun because I'm string piecing and they are going relatively fast. I'll have these all sewn up in an hour or so, and then I'll iron them and we'll see what pattern we can make from them. It should be fun, shouldn't it? Or I might just keep them in a container as half and a half square triangles. Squares. They are so beautiful, blue and whites, but I might put some greens in with these, some green and whites. We'll see how we go. It's all an adventure, isn't it? I'm also looking at sewing my flying geese together, the blocks that I made last year. And I have a few settings that I'm thinking about. The flying geese blocks are so beautiful and mostly blues, blue and whites, and I'm thinking, which way do I want to go? Do I want my geese all going flying together? Do I want my geese somewhat like this with a tail? Or this with a tail? Just thought of another way. Let me check, hang on. And then there's this way. I don't want them to, shout out something that I don't want in a quilt, like someone might associate a pattern with something, or you know how it is. I really do like this one. So if you see anything in these settings that I should not use, please let me know. But I think, how far can I go wrong with some birds? It is going to be a lovely quilt anyway, whichever way it goes. And yeah, so I'm going to sew these blocks together today. I can't do random very well. I can't do random. I try. Oh, I mean, I have other colours, other shades of blue to go with the geese, but putting them all together randomly is going to be tricky for me. We'll see how we go anyway. I have today by myself here at home. It's cloudy, looks like rain, so I can just have fun by myself and play with fabrics and shapes. So lucky. All these pieces here, the ends of these, the squares, when I cut them, to shape, because these were 4.5-inch squares on the rectangles. Have a look at my episode on the flying geese if you're interested in making this beautiful block. And these are the offcuts that we get from them, and they will make another quilt, or the border maybe for this quilt. So that is really interesting. I'm so happy that you're here with me, to visit and having a look at what I'm looking at today. So great. The quilt top is coming along. I've sewn 4 blocks together and I've got 2 more to go on the bottom of it here. So it will be a nice square, well, not quite a square, but a rectangle, but very close to a square. Love how the colours have gone together because they're all blue and white, but you're never quite sure until it's there. And there is a very grey goose in there. But yeah, I love it. I hope they're all flying in the same direction. It's always tricky. I finished piecing the quilt top, Flying Geese. I love it. I think it's beautiful. I love how clear the blue and whites are together. The fabric is all grunge. The range is grunge. The blocks are 4.5 by 8.5 to start with, end up at 8 and 4, and the squares are 4.5-inch squares. So this will make a nice lap quilt or a topper. Great for summer. I'm not going to put a border on it. I'm just going to bind it with maybe a yellow or an orange stripe. We'll see how it goes. This is a very easy quilt to make. I would say it would be a nice beginner quilt. There are so many different settings for this Flying Geese too. I'll show you a few of those. This is the one that I chose. I like the geese flying down the sides and along the middle and keeping all the other geese in order. Birds that fly in formation. The formation is called murmuration, and it is a spectacular sight to see. Birds migrate for a number of reasons, don't they? And the formation is particularly interesting because it has so many benefits for flying that way. It reduces speed, reduces the speed of the wind because the birds at the back get the draft. It reduces the amount of predators that can attack because it's a bunch. And speed. I think speed would be the main thing because they get on a stream of air that has less wind pressure, and it makes them easier to slide along. It's like flying an aeroplane. I imagine the big jets and even Concorde were based on murmuration, and it's just so interesting, isn't it? So yeah, here's my Flying Geese quilt for this week, and I'm so happy to have this project almost finished. Next week I will show you how I finish it off. That will be I'll finish it off. I will machine quilt this one. And yeah, I don't have a big space, so that's why I think it will be interesting for everyone who has a small space on how I organize the space to be able to make quilts that are not small, but, even small quilts, but big quilts too. So this will be a nice thing to look at, and I hope very helpful. If you make a Flying Geese quilt in the same measurements or similar measurements to what I've made, you will end up with this. These are the exact offcuts of the half square triangles that went into the geese, and I have sewn them all together now. There's 180 there, all ironed and ears snipped, ready to make into a quilt. Not sure what pattern I will use yet, but so useful to have these very handy scraps. I've decided that I'm going to have these 3 stars in the quilt. I think they're just beautiful. I just couldn't have just white, although, you know, it would be beautiful with just the white stars, but I also love coloured stars. And these are my 2 other stars that I've picked, and I've fussy cut the birds, and that's all the fabric I have left of the yellow, one of my most favourite pieces, you know. Such a lovely colour of yellow. And then this beautiful one, I just love the blues and the yellows in it, and then the pop of gorgeous orange. I think it's just lovely. So that is how the first block looks. Now to make 8 more. It's so exciting, isn't it, just to see it pop out of the different tones of blues. I just think it's amazing. And then it makes a 3D cube effect. It will be interesting to see how the overall quilt top looks. In this small container, I have leftover pieces from the flying geese, the blue and white flying geese quilt that I'm making. And what I end up with is hundreds of triangles. There is just a whole box of them. So I'm going to sew those together too. And these are contained in a smaller clear box. I haven't got the lid for this one, but this is a very exciting one too. And I just have to sew them together. I'll string piece them together when it is a bit cooler. But yeah, aren't containers interesting, and how we keep our fabrics and projects all together in a container? And just look at the blues and the whites together. I think they're just lovely. So this might be a smaller flying geese quilt, or it might be anything really. It could be a bear's paw or whatever we decide on when I've sewn them all together. When the weather is like it is outside, cool, windy, raining, or snowing, it's the best time to do some crafting, isn't it? Knitting or quilting. And I have been doing both, but this is my knitting. And you know, most of my knitting is magpie knitting. This is how far I've gotten with this. It's going to be beautiful. I started out knitting a feral vest, which is my second one, but it didn't turn out. The colours didn't go together, and it was way too big when I tried it on. So I knit from bottom up, but you can still try bottom up items on as you go. But it just wasn't working out. So I frogged that one. Well, I frogged it 3 times actually to see if I could get it to work, but it didn't work. And then I thought, I will just make, seeing I bought this beautiful Shetland wool from Jennison's and Smith, the black, and then the colour is this fabulous skein of something that I bought. I don't know what it is, but it's wool. and it's variegated and it's coming up really nice. So I think it's superwash because it has a shine to it, or it might be a silk mix. But this is what I'm knitting now, and it is a magpie cardigan. And yeah, I buy all my patterns and I mix and match patterns. And this pattern is a cowl pattern, and I love it. I'll show you what it is. Oops, somebody's busy downstairs. So it is a cowl carousel cowl by Eleanor Mortensen. That's the graph that I'm using for the hem on this. And then I really do love ribbing 2x2 with another color put in it. I think it's just beautiful. That is what I am knitting at the moment. It won't take me that long to knit it because when I get into graphs, you know, it's so addictive that I want to just rush through it, but my fingers will only knit so fast. And yeah, they get a bit sore after a while. But especially when it's raining, I love to knit and I love to do hand piecing. So I have been working on my cubed quilt top. And this week I finished the project, you know, the flying geese. And I think it's so nice that we have crafts, isn't it, that we can work on and are cozy and warm and just stay inside and keep nice and safe. So yeah, that's my knitting my knitting expose for this week. Next week I hope to have the whole body part done. And yeah, can't wait for that. I am going to sort through my projects that I've knitted and donate the ones that are not my colours or no longer fit or something like that, you know. But I'll let my children have first dibs. I always like to have a go through them, and that is fun too. But yeah, I love making scarves, and I have a fair few. They're the best gifts ever, I find. So that is how far I've gotten. What are you knitting? Do you like knitting at special times of the year, or is it seasonal? For me, I do knitting and quilting any time of the year, really. But I really like doing this type of thing when it's raining. It has been pouring. That's me signing off for this week, friends. So nice to see you. So happy to see my friends returning and new friends. So great to see you. And stay safe and stay inside if you can. And I hope you have some nice quilting or knitting or something to do just until the weather systems pass. So yeah, stay safe. See you soon. Bye, friends.